Hello everyone, and welcome to my first video. So today I'm going to be doing an arrow left slash right tutorial. Alright, just quick thing before we get into the video. While you're watching, make sure to watch my left stick on the overlay. I made it pretty big because this is like the most important thing, because everything this mechanic is about is uh, like the left stick and you're moving with it. And also subscribe and like, please. And follow me on Twitch, which should be at screen on the screen, and follow me on TikTok, which will also be on the screen. Thank you. Another thing, this mechanic I would bear mind is very difficult to learn. Like when I mean difficult, I mean like very difficult. Like some pros have not even learned it yet, and I'm not a pro. But I don't want to hear someone named like Kyle Gamer 557 say like, "Oh, I watched your tutorial and it didn't work," because it's not really I did a pretty good job because I've been using this for about 6 months now, and I think I did pretty well because I recorded this after. And it's something that you have to put the time into. It's not like nothing in this game is just you look at it and you learn it instantly. Like in math, you see 2 plus 2, oh, you know the fact forever now. But in this, like, you can't just emulate it instantly. You have to put in the work. Like, I probably put in 500 or 600 hours using this, and I still have a lot to learn, and like pros have a lot to learn on this. Mainly for arrow right, because that's what I'm more comfortable with, and it's a lot easier to explain in my opinion. And just right now, I'm gonna put probably 1 or 2 clips on screen of just shots that I've hit with using arrow right, just to like as a benchmark to see like things that you can do, and that like I'm like much easier to achieve than just normal arrow. So the first step, I would say, to like, I would say mastering arrow left and right, is you have to get comfortable using normal arrow. And to do that, actually, I suggest that you go into just these like default aerial training packs. Let's just see pro, and just get comfortable using your arrow, maybe like getting a few spins in there, and just hitting the ball. And just like do like these where you can get them every time. And like if there's like a ball in the air somewhere, there's like a good chance that you're gonna hit it. And like not even just like in training, like in ranked and stuff. Just make sure that you're gonna be able to hit the ball. And once you have like a good foundation of that, and like if you already think you have a pretty good knowledge of regular air roll, like you can do a few spins here and there, maybe like air dribbles, a few flip resets or stuff like that. Then I suggest you do like an easier rings map. This is one Speed Jump Rings 3. And this is the one I use. It's like pretty easy. And once you get to one of the easier levels, it's easy. And it's just like a good way to, because you never really think this would be useful in a game situation, but it just makes you more comfortable in the air. And this is just all using like normal air roll. I think with these, it's most important that to just like take it slow at first, because you can go through all these really fast, but that's actually it's better if you go slow because there's a lot more like fine movements that you'd have to do. And then once you feel more comfortable, you should take it faster and faster. Like especially on this one, mess up. You can take this one really fast, and it doesn't take a lot of technique. But like on more, especially like more like difficult ones, which have more intricate maneuvers, then you take those like really slow. Those are gonna be the ones that have the most improvement and like the highest skill ceiling. I say for like the first few levels on like a rings map, or I let's say more difficult aerial training map, like here the good custom one that I used in the past is why you suck shadow defense. I can leave the code is on screen right now, and I can put the code in the description. And pretty much this one it's just about saving the ball. and it's like helps you with shadow defense, which is also like a really important thing. And also it just like puts you in awkward scenarios, which like if you're just going for like say the ball is in midfield and then it's just up in the air and you're gonna want to hit it, that's not really like putting you under much pressure to hit it. But like in these you have to hit it or else you're just gonna go in. And also it's not in like a comfortable spot. And it's something that I really struggled with when I was first learning the game. And especially like these ones, these are more like easier players for easier players. And I say like getting this one's like you can hit most of the time, get all the way through it consistently. But like into implementing air roll is definitely like really important. Like see I can do a few spins and just hitting it and just getting comfortable with that. I say once you like have completed all the steps so far, then I think you're ready to like bind the arrow right. Okay, now that you have bind the arrow right or left, I have mine on R1, and you can put it really anywhere, but you're gonna want to be able to use your left stick and boost at the same time with it. And before you go into any complicated stuff, you just want to look at the movements. So what normal arrow is, you're just rolling your car in the air without steering it. But once you use arrow right, you implement the steer, which allows for a lot more complex movements, which makes it a lot easier to do things like air dribbles, flip resets, and just like a lot more like cool mechanics, I would say. And it just makes the game feel a lot more like smooth. Like this feels a little bit slow compared to like this, and a lot more stylish. So the first like actual step with it was just looking at the movement. So now I'm just moving still, just like normal arrow. But for arrow right, if I push to the right, it does this weird like outside motion, which is gonna help you. Like it's all it helps you stand still in different ways. But like if you need to, is I use this mainly like slow down, and this is more like I think it's called the tornado spin, and this is more closed in. And so like if you want to turn left, you just hold that, right, turn that, left, turn that, and it would be opposite on arrow left. So on arrow left, if I would want to turn right, I'd go left, and if I want to go right, I go left. Now I say just go into free play and just like try and keep yourself in the air as long as possible, like trying to like lapse around the field and just try and like keep yourself up, because like a lot of the intricate movements are like it can really confuse you at first. Like when I tried to do it, I just threw myself into a rings map until I got it, which was like it helped me in the end, but it was definitely really frustrating at first because I didn't really know what to expect. It just kind of seemed like I was like speaking a whole different language, but like on my controller, it was like all foreign to me. So you definitely want to get like used to it, like the movements, like just like moving left and right and trying to keep yourself up, which can definitely be really difficult at first. That's why like once you are able to keep yourself up, it's a lot easier to like slowly ease yourself into more intricate movements. Now this is like the big part of it. This is where I suggest you spend most of your time in practicing this. And this is Lethamir's rings map that he made. And it's like a pretty easy one in the beginning, which is like where I did. Like I remember when I started, I just spent hours doing this level, just over and over again until I got it like down. Because it's definitely like really difficult at first, especially if you're not taking it slow. And like especially like a lot of the like practice I do nowadays, just when I get on to warm up, I just go through this all 20 levels and try and do it like really fast but also precise, and like just focus on not dying. So yeah, so you're just gonna want to like practice what I've done before. So if I want to move right, I just go right, and if I want to go up, just I don't even touch my stick. Right again, and to go down, I just use a little bit less boost. I have to go down and left. I go left a little bit, and this is opposite on arrow left. And you're not gonna want to worry about your height, like you're using arrow left and right, because that's not really what it's meant to control. If you're taking it slow, just keep your car straight up, and then your position you'd want to control with arrow left and right, but your boost is you're gonna control how like your height. So in this one, I have to go backwards, so I just can go straight, move to the right a little bit, and just let my boost do the work. Because a lot of like once you start getting into the more intricate movements, you realize you don't really have to like you can hold it down, but it's not a lot of like just crazy stuff like spinning your stick around constantly. That's like really advanced, which I'll get into in a minute. So once you feel more comfortable with that, like I'd say probably the first 5 or 6 levels, just do those like, and when I mean consistently, I mean like if you just go into it, you can get them all every time, and like it's not really difficult for you, but like once you start getting into the higher levels, it's like a lot really difficult, which is it's like understandable because I have like 3,000 hours in this game around there, probably a little bit less, and I'd say this is probably the most difficult thing I've tried to learn, and especially because there wasn't really a lot of tutorials around back then because it's like kind of a new thing that people are doing. It's like really really difficult. But once you start getting into more intricate movements and you feel comfortable with that, I say you're gonna want to learn the circles. So when I'm moving right now, I'm just making circles in my joystick. It just kind of like helps me keep me straight and like more guided. And if I want to like move right, I do a circle that's more like emphasized on the right. It's hard to like see on my overlay, but like right now, I'm doing circles, but I'm like pushing it more to the right. And if I want to go to the left, and obviously all this is inverted on arrow left, which is kind of annoying for me, but I hope you'll understand. Then once you start doing circles, then that's where like all this stuff becomes unlocked. Well, not really unlocked, but like a lot of it all falls into place. Cause like this doesn't really seem useful if you're gonna go out of your way and like be slow in the air for a ball. And this like, cause like this seems faster than going like that. And that when like once you get the circles, it's more like directed movement to go be like really fast and precise at the same time, which is like pretty much what it's all about. And I say once you get the circles, like especially on this map, this one's like really important that you just go through this one and just keep on trying it. Because like I spent a few days just straight doing this, and then after like about a week or so, I was like I eventually got to the point where like I like started using it in game. Now this is a segment where I'll just tell you how to apply it in game, because like that's what I struggled with at first also, because like I bound it and I tried to play rank that day and I was just struggling to use it, and it kind of like messed my head up with like normal arrows. So one thing you can do is you can use it on flips. So usually when I flip, I use my stick and then I just do a speed flip. So I hold down arrow roll at the end. But you can use arrow roll to flip, and it's kind of just like a side flip. And then you can obviously use it for things like flip resets and air dribbles and stuff like that. And that's like, especially if you're not comfortable doing these things on air roll, like normal air roll, it's going to be very difficult for you to do these at first. That's why it's like really important to practice these things if you want to learn them, like before you get into it, because then you'll be like really confused, and like the movements are when like with normal air roll, the movement for a flip reset is like it's on paper really simple, but it can be really hard to execute. And with arrow right and left, and that's like that movement to do is like 10 times harder, and like to line it up, it's like way more difficult. That's why like being comfortable with normal arrow and just arrows in general before you start this is like one of the most important things, or else it's probably gonna make your road to like getting better and having better mechanics and being able to do like air dribbles and stuff like a lot more difficult. And so a brief overview in the end if you missed a few things. When you definitely want to have a good foundation before you start, and like basic movements with arrow right and left, you just want to, this is a tornado spin. When you move it for arrow right, if you move it to the left, this is what happens. And with left, if you move it to the right. And then other way, it's this weird outside thing. And then if you just want to move to practice moving to the left and right and just keeping yourself in the air, and I just do this in free play. And then you can go into like a rings map or like an aerial training course like these to start going, trying to hit the ball. And don't like focus on scoring or anything, just focus on hitting the ball. And then I just go into a rings map. And if you don't have access to a rings map, you can also just do the training packs. Like, I remember doing this one. And just focus on like hitting the ball and just getting a good hit to the ball consistently. Because scoring it isn't really, like, it's important, but like when you're practicing it, scoring is like what comes last, sadly. And then more advanced for this like summary, you can do like what I use is you do circles on it. So it's just me doing circles in the air. It's pretty much keeping me straight. But if I want to turn right, I'd more emphasize the circles on the right and like take a little bit more time when I'm doing on the right, and inversely when I'm moving it to the left. And this will all be inverted on arrow left. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll have my links and stuff in the description. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow my Twitch, which will be on screen hopefully, and it'll be in the description. And follow my TikTok, which will also be in the description and on screen hopefully. And yeah, have a great day.